Off you go, Tim, you're on.
Right, I don't know how I'm going to follow.
Can you move the chair?
We can't see your kilts.
So we can see your kilts.
Look, if I move the chair, David, will you listen to me? David and Alan, if I move the chair and stand here, your wives...
We can get to it. That's elevated.
Make my life impossible.
He's got 2 pairs of cycling.
Anyway, listen. Most of you here know Marion's dad. He recently endured a very serious operation.
Yes.
He cancelled a cruise that he was looking forward to taking with Marion and me, as well as with her brother and his wife. Jim nevertheless insisted, while still in intensive care, that we continue with our plans. Happily, he is now recovering. My outfit and the conspiracy between Mike and him for me to toast the Lassies adds credence to that fact. However, he has been and is being admirably cared for by his wife Rachel. She is a veritable tower of strength. There is nothing that she won't do for him. So tonight, this toast is as much for her as it is to the Lassies everywhere.
Yeah.
And no, I don't take after my mum.
So here we go. Right now, this has been translated into English for any of you that think that I'm going to behave in a Scottish fashion. So, when January winds around us blow and rain and sleet begin to fall, a night with friends to talk and sup soon lifts our faltering spirits up. A night with Burns is an occasion when folks of every creed and station will gather round with mirth and fun to honour Scotland's poet's son, and say this nicht are gathered here with whisky, haggis, neeps and beer, neath Hodson's roof and company here, to toast the baird, old Scotia's first, and eat and drink till fit to burst, to sing Rab's songs, and hear his rhymes, a taste of blessed departed times, when every night men went out to drink, and left their wives at home to think of times lang syne I have nae doot, when men queued up to take them oot, to go for walks and take them dancing, or maybe do a bit of romancing. But now the lassies sit and wonder how things are so very different now. Mind you, this sex equality has altered things more than a wee. With equal rights and equal pay, there's little new they can a day. Today we're told that in Obama's army, lassies can join the fighting, they must be balmy. In certain schools the senior lasses join the lads for fitpa classes. And if for rugby they've a mind in, how do they learn scrummage binding? But even with this, unless I'm wrong, we still will hear that same old song, like, what the hell's been keeping you? Look at the time, it's 2:30. Her brows compress in concentration as she writes out her resignation. Now, lassies, I'm sure you must confess, we sometimes act with thoughtlessness. We treat the lassies a wee bit shabby, for which we apologise to Rabbi. We can sit in a bar spending our lollies, some getting foo and some just jolly. No thought of home at any time where sits your wife and mine. Her face resembling a gathering storm, nursing her wrath to keep it warm. But unlike Rab, if we go wrong, we canna win 'em wi' a song. And writing scraps of prose and verse will only serve to make things worse. Now, Jim, just try singing, "Oh, my love is like a red, red rose," and see what moo does to your nose. And Don, if you recite "My heart is sair," Sue could boot you down the stair. Ah, the poor wee lassies, they've much to thole. They cook and clean and hump the coal. They mind the bairns and see them fed, and tuck them up safe in bed. And then when we climb the stair, we don't believe their heads are sere. We take the huff and say it's spite because we came home late last night. Still, they cut the grass and dig the soil. They do more than their fairish of toil. Then after we have had our tea, we drag them out if they are free. And tonight, after several glasses large, David and I count on them to drive us home. It is their charge. And listen while we ramble on about the game we should have won. At bowls, golf, tennis, darts and cricket. I'm damned if I know how they stick it. But this they do, and as a boon, they sympathise when we are doomed. They encourage us and give us hope till once again we're fit to cope. But if we get above ourselves, they to us all the plain truth tell, which though at times may cause us pain, soon brings us down to earth again. They'll put up with our crazy notions like motorbikes and sailing oceans. But tell us in their own quiet way when we're too old to run and play. For many a man gives up rugger when told by his wife, "You'll get killed, you daft old bugger." This she declares with winning smiles, or if he wants to jog for miles, she'll tell him if she thinks he's unfit by slipping the bus fare in his mitt. Harvey the cricketer, who has no fears that he can play for 70 years. One spring will get his age in focus when in his box Linda plants a crocus.
Sad but true.
Alan the golfer, given a healthy liver, believes that he'll go on forever. But one day finds that his dear Maggie has made a poker with his brassy. It's in such discreet and devious ways they remind us of the passing days. To tell us how much is owed by men would need the bard of Scotland's pen. An honest man will truly say he owes them a debt he cannot pay. And though we may often treat them wrong, we'll never forget the truth for long. Our lasses, sweethearts, mothers, wives, play such a part in our lives that though we sometimes grudge them dresses, without them we'd be sorry messes. So gentlemen, it is my pleasure to ask you all to pour a measure, right to the top now. Never fear, even though your wife is sitting here. For when we drink to such a prize, who'll begrudge us drinks of generous size? Now lift with me your brimming glasses and toast the health of our lasses.
Yeah.
Oh.
Gentlemen,
Whoa!
the lasses.
The Lasses.
Several lasses.
Do the lasses.
Thank you, boy.
Jim, fantastic.
Well done, Tim.
Well done, Tim.
Now,
Well done, Tim.
now what?
Good.
How on earth?
Everything
How do you
has
follow that?
a reply,
It's a hard job, yeah.
and
Follow that, John.
and Madam here now has to reply to that very, very strong attack on women. And we'll see what she can do in reply.
No, I found that.
Away you go, Madame.
Thank you. Thank you, Tim, for that, and reminding of us our place and how we could strive to control you. Now, there was no way I could, because I did get a brief look of the early stages of that speech, and there was no way I could reply in like and in verse. Definitely not. So what I've done is I've penned my reply as I would writing to my daughter as she is about to enter into marriage. Right. My darling daughter, as the day draws near when you will tie the knot, I thought it only right, proper and fair to at least warn you of some of the problems you may face in married life. Women are from Venus and men are from Mars.
Yes.
And there are certain areas where our expectations far outweigh reality, especially on the domestic front. Let's start with the kitchen.
No.
Do not expect that just because you have all those wonderful labour-saving devices, such as dishwasher, washing machine and vacuum cleaner, that your partner will show quite the same interest. It might take years before he even finds them, let alone recognises what they are for. Over time, dishes may gravitate in the general direction of the dishwater, but it is very unlikely that they will ever find their way inside without your assistance, and they will certainly never find their way out again. The same goes for the washing machine, and the vacuum cleaner will remain a mystery to him forever. Bathrooms are places where water and soap can be spread liberally over all the surfaces, including mirrors. We've all been there, girls. Towels can and do double up as floor mats.
That's just clear.
And do not expect there to be hot water when you need it. The bedroom, although it may have its pleasures, can also be used as a training tool, but it can be a bit of a battlefield. The direct line of succession between dirty clothes, the laundry basket, the washing machine and clean clothes is far beyond his powers of comprehension.
Fair enough.
The laundry basket will usually stand forlornly in the corner of the room, surrounded by discarded clothes, a mere toy for his amusement.
Not me.
Even he can't be expected to score a direct hit every time. The clean clothes stacked neatly in the wardrobe only serve to underline his childlike belief in the laundry fairy. An unmade bed is just a bed waiting for someone to get back into it. So why make work for yourself by putting it straight in?
Very true. Oh, yeah.
What's your problem?
Another slight annoyance for us girls may be the missing book, glasses, pen, etc. The cry goes up, where's my... whatever it is he's lost.
Never.
You may suppose this to be a rhetorical question, but an answer is expected. And have you looked for it, dear? Does not go down too well. Where did you last have it? Is not considered a helpful response either. It's best to go where you last saw the lost item and find it. Do not expect too much gratitude for this, however. A nod of acknowledgement is probably the best you can hope for. But you must have moved it. That's annoying.
It happens.
It's all true.
The daily newspaper is also a challenge. It is to be bought, read and discarded in a heap for the next reader, usually you.
Not anymore.
And in the words of the great Morecambe and Wise, you will find it with all the right pages, but not necessarily in the right order. Outside the house, expect little better. A journey into unknown territory can be a difficult experience. Be prepared to pass the same garage at least 3 times before you will be allowed to go inside and ask for directions. Remember, it is your responsibility to make sure the fuel tank is full at all times and the car is packed and ready with a litany of things that you never knew you needed. He may laugh at the size of your handbag, but have you ever known him produce a screwdriver, torch, bottle opener, or headache pill when you've needed one?
Or lipstick.
And should the trip be a shopping expedition, remember your running shoes. He is an expert at speed shopping. The list is totally your responsibility, and any deviation can cause untold. Your complete and up-to-date knowledge of the layout, range and stock levels of the shops you are visiting is demanded and expected, even for shops you have never visited before.
Quite right.
You will be given an entry and exit time, and woe betide you if you overrun. It may result in forfeiting half your shopping at the checkout, and has been known to result in a complete meltdown and abandonment of the total expedition. It is, of course, essential that you choose the quickest moving queue at the till. And you are personally responsible for all the other people in that queue to have their money, cards, or and their baskets packed at breakneck speed. I have found the best way to deal with this particular problem is to find a cosy pub not far from the said shop, buy the aforementioned newspaper, and install your beloved in a quiet corner while you go it alone and at your own speed. And so, my darling girl, I may have painted rather a daunting picture of your future, but remember, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and you will develop your own ways of managing. It's all to do with give and take, patience and training. Treat him like our Labrador. Give him lots of love, feed him regularly, and let him off the lead occasionally. And harping back to the draining ground, which is the bedroom, you can always follow the advice of Mae West, who said, "Men are like linoleum. If you lay them well, you can walk all over them for the rest of your life." And my final piece of advice, if you are still determined to marry and live a long and hopefully happy life together, never look to marry a man you can live with. He doesn't exist. Marry a man you can't live without. And so, ladies, to the men, we can't live without.
Well,
Well done, Jack.
Very true.
Very good.
Well done, Dan.